Root is back as captain. England have announced the squad for the test match next week. I did say yesterday on my video there's no way Root would do it again. It is classed as an interim appointment. I think, fingers crossed, that means it's not all over for Stokes. I was thinking he was going to even retire today. It seems to have been that much noise out in the news. But hopefully that means, given that Root's just doing it on a short-term basis, hopefully that means there's a way back for Stokes. Of course, England cricket is such a calamity. It couldn't have gone to Brook because, it sounds like he'd been behaving even worse than Stokes, and then the ECB had covered that up. But it's such a mess. It really is such a mess. And of course, the one guy in my mind is Rob Key. I am done with Rob Key. The real headline of this squad should be, how on earth are Archer and Cox in this squad? They're IPLers. Rob Key said back in March, April, it was, in the aftermath of the Ashes, it was a mistake being so detached from county cricket. We're going to re-engage with county cricket, and we're going to provide a clear pathway for players who perform to get into the team. Ben Stokes then backed that up and said it was such an exciting opportunity for county cricket, for the county cricketers to push their case forward. And then what the fuck is going on? Archer and Cox should be nowhere near this squad. It's an absolute disgrace. But look, let's start off with the captaincy first. Root, I guess it's a steadying appointment, right? He is already captained England 60-odd times. So I guess there's an element of it's a safe pair of hands for a little short-term mission to try and steady the ship. But, it's a real hospital pass for him, right? Because he is going to get grilled at the press conferences, what's going on with Stokes? Have you spoken to Stokes? Have you told it's just for one match, two matches, where you just sense he's going to get an avalanche of questions that really he just does not want to have to answer. Hopefully it doesn't affect his batting. He looked a little bit scratchy at Lords, and hopefully he's going to get grilled about the IPL selections, about Archer and Cox as well. That'd be difficult questions that he won't want to answer. So it's not a situation that I envy Joe Root having to be in. But look, good fair play to him. He stepped up at a time when English cricket need him to. It'd be interesting to see where they go with the team. Are they going to drop Bashir, play Ahmed or Cox? I'm not really sure. It's all a bit of a mess, really. What it does go to show is even though Stokes' batting is not what it should be at the moment, it goes to show how valuable it is to have an all-rounder, right? To add a bit of balance to the team, and somebody like Stokes, it can be so important. So given the fact it's an interim appointment, I'm hoping that Stokes is coming back. I was thinking from my video yesterday, I was saying, where does that leave him as a player? And I think I was talking in terms about him coming back as a player, say he lost the captaincy. I don't think there's some players that, like Cook and Root, they were sort of captain because they were best batsmen. They're very unassuming, very sort of low ego sort of guys who can slot back in after being captain. But then there's some, and I think I would definitely class Stokes, who have this sort of bigger personalities, who really impose themselves and could never come back as a regular member of the team. Like Graham Smith is the obvious example of that. Once Graham Smith was done, there's no way, given the imprint that he put on that team for such a long time, that he could come back into the ranks. Strauss was the same. I think he had that sort of gravitas as a leader that he could never go back into the ranks. And even in the white ball stuff, somebody like Owen Morgan was such an exceptional captain, you could never imagine him going back down and just being a team member. I kind of think that for Stokes. So it's really all or nothing, right? I think he's got to come back as captain. I can't see him working just back as a player, and it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I'm going to do a separate video on Archer shortly. I won't be holding back with my views on him. He is a mercenary as far as I'm concerned. The fact, and at a time when English cricket needs to pull together, it needs everybody in the same direction. It's a tough situation to bring back somebody who fucked off early from the Ashes, despite being paid vast sums of money over the last few years for England, and then goes off, plays a full IPL, doesn't even want to come back halfway, full IPL, and then off to the Caribbean. And the fact that he's been brought back is just absolutely astounding to me. And then there's the Jordan Cox situation. So I have just been looking back through a few things, and I thought, obviously I pay close attention to county cricket. I thought, I'm sure Pepper's been keeping for Essex this summer, and because I'm sad like that, I've been back and had a look through all of Essex's championship games so far. Cox hasn't played. He has not played. I've just been back through them all. Pepper's played everyone. He's not been, as a batsman, he's been at the IPL. This is how fucking sad I am. I swear to God, and you can correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but I'm sure I'm not wrong. I don't think he's played a single minute of cricket in the IPL. This is his profile. He doesn't seem to have made his debut yet. And I've been through the last 4 or 5 games of RCB, and they had a keeper called Jitesh. Jitesh who was playing. So I'm all but certain that I'm right, without wasting any more of my time, because I have other shit I have to do in my life, right? I think that Jordan Cox has been at the 2026 IPL and not played. And obviously not played for Essex. And is now in the England Test match squad. From what I've just been doing, I don't think I'm wrong. And then you have Jofra Archer, and Rob Key is so full of shit. He is such a liar. I go back to the things he said about there being the mistakes he made about, and then you look at what Farbrace has said, and Lehman and Livingston, Topley and Bairstow. Bairstow said the proof will be in the pudding. Yeah, the proof is in the pudding. That Rob Key is completely full of shit, and he's just said that because at the time he had nothing else to say. It was the right thing to say. Oh, we'll re-engage with county cricket. Fuck off. I mean, I think Ray Armin's been at the IPL as well. I mean, this is just a farce. What is the point of county cricket? If you're a county cricketer now, if you're somebody like Sam Cook, there's no point. There's no point. Not under this leadership. And I said it yesterday. I said again. Rob Key has to go. He's a snake oil salesman. He's full of shit. And then again, the ironic thing is, he came through at Kent and he got to play for England, so he knows the value. He should know the value of county cricket, but he seems to think he knows better. To have reneged on everything he said and made these IPL selections now, or sat back and made them, is astounding. What is Marcus North doing? He's fully in the job now. Is he being overruled by McCullum and Key, who seem to keep to want picking this? We have not beaten India. We have not beaten Australia. Okay, what they have done, they seem to think that what they have done in the last few years is going to work, but the proof is in the pudding. It doesn't work, and yet here we are again, selecting guys who barely played or haven't played in red ball cricket. And like I said, at this most important time, showing the willing. Because England have to come together now, because they are going to get grilled in the media. They're going to be right under the microscope. It's no time for people who aren't committed. Yet that seems to be the road we're going down. It really pisses me off. And yeah, full Jofra Archer video coming up, because the amount of money he's had and the amount of constant support from England, yet he chooses the IPL. It's just a disgrace. And the fact that he's pandered to, Bethel as well has been pandered to. Rob Key's got about as much backbone as a slug. He's unbelievable, and he's getting away with. He's like that cowardly sort of politician who's hiding behind things, using things as a distraction instead of, and the real issues are getting covered up. He's getting away with it, and he pisses, as you can probably tell, he really pisses me off. I think he is the real problem and needs to be removed immediately. England just lurching from one disaster to the next. I mean, this squad is a complete farce. It's a complete backtrack on what he promised us. There has been no reset. And Gould has kept Key and McCullum in their jobs. It's as you were, boys. It's almost like they say, right, people will forget about the Ashes in a few months' time. It'll all settle down. We'll keep the group together. We'll get to play golf together. We'll go to Wentworth. We'll have a few beers, as you were, and carry on. It's a fucking shambles. And look, I wish Joe Root the best. He's been a fantastic player and a fantastic servant for English cricket, and hopefully he can steer us through in a somewhat steady way through the coming weeks. But it's going to be fascinating. Oh, and Atkinson's been dropped. This is the other thing. Atkinson has gone completely. He's gone completely Anne Frank on us, hasn't he? You know, he must be thinking it's fantastic that the guy I was with was Stokes, because nobody is talking about Atkinson. So Atkinson's not in the squad. I should have mentioned that. It just goes to show, right, where all the focus is. On these stories. But yeah, look aheads for next week coming up as well. Please let me know what you think of the squad. Do you think I'm being a bit harsh? I don't think I am. I'm at my wit's end, particularly as you can probably tell with Rob Key and the way this England setup's being run at the moment. But let me know what you think in the comments, and I will talk to you again very soon.